Welcome back. I'm Jay. This is the Heads Up Show. We got Steve at home today, managing everything from afar. We're still social distancing down here in South Carolina. Got a couple of updates before we get into the show. We are going to be talking about your photos. Before we do that, one, we are open for business. So we've been getting a lot of questions on social media about whether or not people can send us their face masks to get reconditioned. We recondition as few as one mask all the way up to thousands of masks.
And if you're watching this today on May 2nd, we're still doing the helmet sale, where if you buy a field use helmet, most of them, you get a free visor. Just throwing that out there. But this is episode 50, Jay. We've done 517 helmet submission pictures so far.
Maybe we should have a big party.
At 1 year, 52 weeks. Let's wait 2 more weeks. We'll do something big. How about that?
Everybody's invited.
So if you want to see your helmets on this show, be sure to email your pictures to PICS@greengridiron.com. I've said it a few times where sometimes we just have one of like those shows. Jay, the pictures and the creativity this week, make sure you are ready for this. There's some outstanding stuff coming up.
Well, good. I love it. I love it when people are pressing the envelope, and hopefully these are going to blow me away. Maybe we'll give away some shirts if we get a picture that either Steve or I think is exceptional, basically perfect. We can't find anything wrong with it. We give you a free t-shirt. And if we do show your picture on this show, then you get a free decal that we send you a link for, and you can just go and click it and order it, and then you don't have to pay anything. It just shows up.
That's right. Too. I like it. Let's jump in and start with Sid.
All right, Sid. So Steve, this is amazing. It's got to be the Grand Canyon, right? He's put in a Shock 1.0 visor. I'm not exactly sure what color that is because of the reflections. It's hard to tell. What do you think that is?
I'm going to go Northern Lights.
Northern Lights? Okay.
I think so.
Be. And he's got a Sports Star chin strap. He's got this thing blacked out. He has our green Gridiron 3D bumper on the front. Are those red clips with white decals on the visor clips?
Yep, which we've done once before in a build, and I thought it looked good then. It looks great here.
Yep. Steve, this thing is great.
He's even got he's got the NFL 100. He's got the Super Bowl. He's got an embossed tech flag. I mean, like, my goodness.
Overall, this thing is nuts, and it's absolutely fantastic. I'm going to go with a 9.7 on this helmet because of all, because of all the things. The fact that it's in the Grand Canyon, I'll be honest with you. Looking at these pictures, I didn't see any of that. All I saw was the helmet.
Great stuff, Sid. Next up is Ned, and I'm telling you, man, these are good. So,
all right, Ned is blown out the background. I love that. We've got some gold chrome Under Armour clips. Those look great. We got another Shock 1.0 visor in a Schutt F7 helmet. This one is a VTD. Again, with the green Gridiron logo on the 3D bumper. We got black clips all around. We got a black Battle chin strap. This looks phenomenal. And the way that he was able to capture the light in both of these pictures, reflecting off the visor, perfect match with those clips, right?
It's awesome. And I tell you, this kid, he's like, a young dude. He's pretty shredded up. This kid's in great shape, and I just think it's outstanding to see kids out there not sitting around the house. This is definitely a current photo. I love it. And he's kind of even matching it a little bit with his shirt. We've talked about making designs like that before.
And I'll give you a little bit of a bonus. Steve, go back to the one with the shirt. I'm going to let you know what the helmet on the shirt is. That is a Schutt Ion 4D with an Ion ROPO XL face mask on there. So downsides of this helmet, Steve, there's no decals on it. So it's kind of, in its naked state still. It's getting there. And I suspect that Ned will be getting this thing doctored up for the season at some point. So it's still a pretty basic helmet with great upgrades, right? Because of all that, Steve, I'm going to go with a 8.1
Nice. Yeah. I love that, man.
And the fact that he's in the picture and it's at a stadium, I love all that too.
All right. Next up is Parker. Parker says, "Hey, I'm Parker. I'm the head athletic equipment manager at Rochester Community and Technical College in Rochester, Minnesota.
Nice.
Big fan." He attached two different pictures. One of them is their current one. The other one was just an old one he had laying around that he decided to dress up, and that's this one.
Well, this is the best thing that you can do to get one of those older shut DNA helmets to look sexy.
I agree.
Throw a big grill on there, get a visor on there. The decals look great. I think the paint job and the decals go great. I mean, yellow and black always go well together.
Oh,
Did
yeah.
it say what the mascot is? It's got to be the Yellow Jackets or something like that, right? Killer Bees.
Let's
Oh,
see.
Yellow Jackets.
Give him his proper shout out if he no, doesn't say.
I'm going to assume it's the Yellow Jackets. And there's a simplicity to these decals with the 1-inch stripe. Looks great on the Speed Flex. Personally, I think the Speed Flex looks better without a visor or fancy face mask than the DNA does with the visor and fancy face mask.
It's nice.
I think that goes a long way to telling the story. I love it. You know, I really appreciate, you know, equipment manager taking the time to send this stuff in and watch the show. You know, very much appreciative of that. Yeah.
So next up is Sean. And he says, "Hey, I'm Sean. I'm a diehard Patriots fan, so I created a Patriots helmet. What do you guys think?"
All righty here. So I love to see when somebody gives their take on an iconic design, right? He's not pushing things, I don't think, too far here, but he's doing a few things a little bit differently that I think are great. Obviously, going with what looks like a black face mask, right?
Yep.
Putting the American flag in there. We've still got logos on here, right? We got the Under Armour logos. He kept those on there on both the visor and the visor clips. I personally would have said, hey, you know what? This is an NFL build, so let's take off those Under Armour stickers on the visor, and let's get some unbranded clips on there. That might have taken it up a little bit. We got the 3D bumper out the front there, and you know, Steve, you've got holes in that 3D bumper, right?
Yeah.
If you remove that big honking white twist clip, you can then put on regular clips that would go on top of those holes that would cover that up. To me, that's a cleaner look, regardless whether you've got a 3D bumper in there or not. I personally don't like the twist clip mechanism up there. I get it, but at the same time, I don't like it. It looks like the decals on the sides, are those chrome decals, Steve?
They look chrome and they look really thick.
Yeah, I like them.
All right, next up is Derrick. And he says, "Hey, I'm Derrick, wide receiver at what is that? Tantasqua High School in Southbridge. I would be an honor to be featured on your show. Here's a couple pictures of my helmet."
This is interesting because we got a kicker mask here on the Speed Flex, right? I'm going to go out on a limb and say that he got that from us because I know that we're one of the very few places, if not the only place, that kind of sells these to the masses. You know, Riddell's obviously pumping them into a lot of the colleges and pro teams, but overall, that gives it a nice, unique look. To me, this is something that most people I don't think would notice the difference. They would see this, maybe they would recognize, hey, something looks a little different here, but they wouldn't know what it was, right?
And this is a 2019
Yeah.
helmet, so he's been doing work to this really quick. Look at he cut this stripe.
Yeah.
Dude, pictures are simple, but they get the job done.
And I'm curious here, Steve, are these bumpers painted, or did he take some rubbing alcohol and rub the red off of the Riddell logos? What do you think?
I'm definitely going to go with they are not painted. He just did a really good job of cleaning the color off, and I'm really happy that he did that. It looks great. Would he give him Derrick?
Big points here because it's a kicker mask. That's super unique. Lose a couple here because of it needs a fresh coat of powder coating on there. love having the visor in there, Steve. I am going to go with a 7.6.
All right, cool. All right, man. Next up is Patrick. Patrick knows how to take some photos.
Man, that finish on this helmet looks great.
It's great. I can't say enough about these pictures.
Yeah, they really look good. The grass, having it in the grass like that, I don't know. I really like that look. I mean, you know me, I love the blurred out background, all that bokeh, and this is a helmet that he created himself. Again, I mean, I guess it's possible this could be a steel. No, because the official authentic helmet from Riddell would be a gloss black, not a matte black. So he had to have done this himself. He got his hands on the 3D bumpers and then the stripe. He's thrown in an Elite Tech visor. Personally, on any visor, you know, if you're doing an NFL build, I'll go back to this again. NFL doesn't allow branding on there, so strip
Exactly.
off that Elite Tech. You know, the same thing with the chin strap. Technically, you could take some rubbing alcohol or a couple of different types of solutions and just kind of rub the logos off there to give it a little bit more of an authentic feel to it. But overall, I think this thing is great. The photos are great. The paint job, or the photo of the paint job, one way or the other, it looks silky smooth, and I really, really love that.
Yeah, it's outstanding. These pictures just make me happy. I love to see people that know what they're doing, and this is a
Steve,
perfect example. This is great, man.
as,
Really good work.
as long as long as you're happy, I think that he's achieved his goal. Right.
Sure.
So I'm gonna go with this guy, Steve. Let's give it. I'm gonna go with an 8.3.
All right, cool. Thank you,
Yeah,
Patrick.
love it.
Next up is Wayne. It says, "Hey, I'm Wayne. I live in East Lansing. I took a Riddell Speed replica helmet and turned it into a Michigan State Spartan concept piece. I used the old logo for a retro look. Again,
Oh,
outstanding
oh yeah.
pictures."
It is. Did he take this to the stadium? Is
Yeah,
that is that is that is that Michigan State Stadium?
it is.
Well, you're getting extra points for that. That's great.
I'm okay jumping the gun here and saying, I'm giving this guy a pick.
I knew it was coming. Steve, the photo that you've got up right now, I love that because it almost looks like the helmet is looking up at the Spartan head, which is looking down at the helmet.
Yep.
I think that's great.
He knew what he was doing with all of this. He went out there, he took his time. There's lots of little details with the helmet that you can get into, but you're getting a free t-shirt from me, man. Way to go, Wayne.
Yeah, as far as the helmet goes, I like all of the decisions that were made here. Love the S on the Under Armour uh, visor clips there. That's a touch that some of the colleges do that. I think that just takes it up to another level. We got the 3D bumper on there. We've got a pretty standard face mask, the S2BD SWSP. We've got a Shock 1.0 visor. I'm assuming this is probably, what color would you say this is, Steve? This is a Inferno?
I would say Inferno. Yep.
Yeah, Inferno. You got the upgraded chin strap. That's not the chin strap that comes with a replica helmet. That's a hard cup. Looks like a large style. We've got the white chin strap buckles. Those are probably Sports Star. Can't really tell.
Yes.
And then going with the throwback or the older decal on the side or logo on the side is great. Looks like we have an embossed tech flag potentially on the back as well, and a 3D bumper back there. Can't really see. We got a matching warning label, so that looks great. Overall, Steve, everything in here is spot on. I wouldn't change anything about it. I'm going with a 9.4.
Yeah. Well deserved.
It's not easy to get into nines with me, Steve. I'll tell you that. It's not easy even to get into the eights.
That is true. That is true. But you're consistent. You're consistent. Next up is Derrick. And again, this is so cool. So this is a 7-year-old kid. The father sent this in, and then there's a before and after of the helmet, before and after it having stripes, and you will see right here.
All right, so we got. Oh wow, yeah. This
So
looks great.
Isn't that cool? So, and then he did a TCP chin strap on there before and after, which was a smart move.
Yeah, so personally, the after looks way better, and upgraded with a black chin strap, I think that's a no-brainer. It looks way better. Keeping the black Oakley decals on the visor, I would have done the same exact thing. So I think that this has a really good NFL look. I mean, it does still say Riddell on there on both the chin strap and on the helmet. Um, but besides that, this thing looks great, spot on, really good job. I believe the Cincinnati Bengals get their stripes painted on, but all of the collectible helmets and all that, they're all decals that go on there.
I like that this little man is mad dogging the camera too. Look,
Oh yeah.
what do you got for
I'm going to
Derrick?
give this guy, Steve, I'm going to go with a 7.5. I think it's a great job.
Great stuff, man. I love seeing those pictures of the kids wearing them, and it's just great. All right, so next up and last already, Jay, is Chris B. And he says, "Hey, I'm Chris. I'm a huge fan and customer of your website. I bought my F7 and the whole setup from Green Gridiron. Wanted at one point to convert the buckles to a ratchet, but I'll tell you, I don't know if you can convert these to a ratchet. I figured this would be a good thing to talk about the helmet, but to also talk about that, Jay."
I'll say this. If you want a ratchet, go with the Speed Flex. I would not convert any helmet to a ratchet. Just stick with what you got. Um, and I mean, now it's actually called the cam lock system instead of the ratchet system on the Speed Flex.
Mm-hmm.
But it's one of those things where the mold of the helmet is designed for that, where no other helmet is. So even though it's technically feasibly possible, it just doesn't look right. And to me, it's a little goofy. We haven't done it in house, but I've seen enough photos of people who have tried to do it. I don't know. I'm not a fan of it, and I don't recommend it. But
I agree. So that's our input, Chris. Having said that, everything else that you submitted, it looks great. I wouldn't mess with it. And thank you so much for getting all of your stuff from us. Jay, look at
yeah,
how much he has going on here.
it's got a lot going on. So we've got multiple American flags on the back of this F7. We've got multiple ribbon decals. We've got a whole bunch of award decals. I think all this looks great. Some people would look at this like, man, that looks really busy. We got a Green Gridiron logo sticker on there on the, what is this? Is this a Vengeance helmet? I think.
It's an F7.
No, that's an F7. It's an F7. And we also have, is that an Italian flag? I can't tell.
Yes. Yep. I would swap out that blue TPU liner for either clear or black. That's just me. And now that I said it, you probably won't get it out of your head either.
I would go black personally. I wouldn't even mess around with the clear just because of all the other black components on this helmet. I think that would really be one more thing to kind of make it pop a little bit more. But overall, I think these helmets are great. And the story that it's telling, what I'm seeing here, Steve, is this is off season and this guy is chomping at the bit to get back in season. For the average score for these two helmets, I'm going to go with a 7.4.
Very cool. Very cool. Yeah. Thank you again, Chris, for all of your support on our website. That's all we got time for. And we have so many more pictures to get to, but we still want to see yours. If you think that you can keep up with these pictures or even beat them and you want a chance to win a free t-shirt, email your pictures to pics@greengridiron.com.
Yes, PICS at greengridiron.com. Steve will curate them. I'll tear them apart and tell you what you could do better and give you a score. So we really appreciate you watching. Stay tuned for, I guess, episode 51, the next 50 episodes, Steve. They're coming.
That's it, man. Coming next week. Thank you for all of your support and thanks for watching.
Yep. Like, subscribe, click the notification bell for more videos like this. Until next time, cheers.